who is better for crypto out of the current presidential candidates? Whether current President Trump or Sanders for the Democrats, or Warren, or somebody else. Let us know. Also tell us in the comments below who you think is better for crypto. Bill, what's your take on this?
All right. So we've been on the show and we've been doing the occasional joke about Bernie Sanders and the left wing, people doing things like wealth tax, right? That means if you have 10,000 in your bank account, you wake up one morning and you have 9,000 because the government is going to put your money to use.
Well
okay,
said.
so instead of a bailout, it's literally called a bail-in. I believe it happened in like Portugal, right? Mm-hmm. So, I say these things and, Ian had the perfect reaction. It's like people are laughing like, okay, dude, you got to be kidding me. Are you the crypto guy? Yeah, whatever. Okay, now guess what? All right, the mathematics, I didn't just make this up. The mathematics of the election, right? So if you count the people who are liberal or left wing in the United States, and then you count the people in the millennials generation that were severely negatively impacted by the financial crisis, and then you take into account my daughter's generation, Generation Z, okay, who grew up watching the millennials suffer from the financial crisis, you have a mathematical advantage if you're liberal. And with guys like Bezos buying $165 million bachelor pad apartment in Los Angeles, can you blame people if they're like, you know what? I'm feeling a little left out here. Mm-hmm. I'd like you to take the money from those people and give it to me. Now, we won't debate whether or not economics textbooks say that works or not. We won't do that. But people, it is happening. Okay. And I'm just here to tell you right now, I talked to the smartest person I know, and we are in agreement, and I will use his words. Bernie Sanders wins the Democratic nomination. Mm-hmm. He could mop the floor with Donald Trump in November.
Oh, really? Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So now that I wasn't a mop the floor guy, mm-hmm. but if the smartest guy I know is thinking mop the floor, here's what it means for crypto. Okay. Mm-hmm. This means that everybody, okay, let me say that again. Everybody who's got money is going to need to protect it. It's going to need diversification, and that means gold and crypto, right? Because if you're about to get a 10% haircut on your brokerage account, the best thing you can do is not have a brokerage account and put your money on the thumb drive. Now, people like Ian, most of our audience would go, oh, well, yeah, of course. I've already got a cold wallet. Oh, okay. Well, most of the population doesn't know what a cold wallet is. Okay. And they're not going to worry about it. They're just going to go online and buy Bitcoin or whatever they can get their hands on. Mm-hmm. So, as this, the Democratic Party into itself is in denial about what's happening with Bernie. Like, do we really believe everything this guy believes? Well, I don't know. He keeps winning all the elections. So once the denial, like there's the political denial, the financial denial, and when they fall away, you're going to look at your screen one day and you're going to have, you're going to have 14,000 Bitcoin. 14,000. Boom. Just goes there. Right? The fact that you've got this orderly creep means that people don't believe it yet, which is so good for our TV show, so we can talk about it before it happens.
Wow. Okay, so some people in the audience is saying Bill is tripping.
I know I know Bill is tripping. I know.
Okay, so so Sonny Sims saying Bill is tripping. He's saying wealth tax will not be 10% of a person with 10K in their bank account. Then Tyrone is saying Bezos also donated $10 billion to fight climate change. Yes, he did announce his climate change fund recently. Then Tyrone is saying it doesn't matter which Democrat is better because Trump will win in the election no matter what. So here, let's go back to what Bill said earlier. I think it's very interesting. So you're saying your friend, he's an analyst or he's in politics?
He's a hedge fund manager.
Okay, so he thinks Bernie Sanders is going to win. Okay, I mean, I think it kind of depends who you
I mean,
ask.
it's just one guy, right? It's just
Yeah,
like
just
my market BFF, right? I mean,
yeah.
it's like your bartender. I mean, it's not an authoritative source at the Fed or anything. It's
I
not
mean,
like that.
so if I had to pick, I guess there are two questions: who we think is actually going to win, and who is better for crypto.
Right. All right. So let's
So,
do it. Go ahead.
so I think who's most likely to win. I think Trump is going to win again because we're in a bull market. And I was watching TV actually last night. I was watching Fox News of all channels, and they're saying you don't run a socialist in a bull market. You run them in a bear market. And to me, that kind of hit home because I was like, Bernie would crush it in a bear market. Because when everybody's broke, devastated, we're in a recession, and you come in with the socialism agendas of, I mean, because I do like what he's saying in terms of free healthcare, free everything, but the question is, how do we pay for it? And he wants to tax Wall Street with a high frequency trading tax, which does scare the traders here as well, right? Especially those in crypto. So I'm just kind of curious to see what other people think. In terms of who I think is better for crypto, it's honestly tough for me to say. I'm kind of divided. I don't really know because Bernie Sanders could scare people to gravitate more towards crypto, but I'm not sure if that's the way we want to scare people to go into crypto. But then also Trump and I guess his staff, the CFTC recently issued a memo stating that they plan to really come towards crypto. So I'm not sure what exactly that means. I think that's more from a regulation and compliance perspective, but that could also not be so good for crypto.
Yeah, and folks, remember this. Bernie Sanders or the virus or any geopolitical event, it's not the event itself. It's not whether he gets elected or not. It's not even whether you like him. It's the idea that the market has to like price it in and take it seriously, right? Mm-hmm. So yes, if I pound the table on Bernie and I tell interesting stories about, what I think could happen, that's one thing. But it's another thing that somebody has to take it seriously. And when it gets taken seriously, it's going to get priced into markets. And then that leads into the next topic of, who are the new buyers in crypto? Well, it could be people looking to protect their wealth from a Bernie, or people looking to move their money at crypto as a transit system for money, wherever it needs to go, out of China, out of the Middle East, into the United States, out of the United States. I mean, I could make a whole list. I mean, it's literally crypto could become a subway system. So this coronavirus, is also going to create not only demand for a transit system for money, okay, but it's also going to disrupt global supply chains. It just is. I'm not a biologist or a doctor. I just know that the stock market is priced for perfection. And when you talk about coronavirus and Bernie Sanders, that's not perfection, folks. It's not. So stock market portfolio managers are going to take a look at the creeping bid in Bitcoin, and they're going to say to themselves, well, the all-time high is 20 and it's now at 10. So it's half off.
Yeah, I mean, well said. Okay, so lots of comments. So Tyrone says,
am I getting cut off?
so no, I mean, so Tyrone says no president in history has lost an election with the economy doing this well. Yeah, I mean, I think it would definitely be an outlier if Trump loses with the economy going so great right now. Then James Lockyer says, doesn't matter who is your president, as he doesn't run the country, just a puppet. Okay. Next question or comment. You can't tax You can't tax corporations and the rich because they'll just leave the country. I mean, quite frankly, myself, I definitely did look into that option as well. But I love America so much that America's home. I mean, no matter how many they would really have to jack up the taxes a lot to encourage people to leave just for tax reasons. Because, I mean, I've been everywhere around the world, over 40 countries, and America is beautiful. It's very tough to find a place like America. All right, so let's go back to the question of the day. Once again, go to menti.com, menti.com, use the code 143849. That's 143849. So the question was, who is better for crypto? And so far, the audience says Trump. Okay, very interesting, very interesting. Any comments on that, Bill?
Sure. So here's a story from 2016. So I'm watching what's going on, and I call my boss at the major investment bank I was working at the time. And I was like, hey, boss, you need to let me put a chart package together, okay, that gives people a plan if this guy Trump wins. And my boss was like, Bill, you're tripping. You're out of your mind. There's no way this guy's going to beat Hillary Clinton. Stop it. We're going to get laughed at. Okay. Okay. So it's not like I like one guy over the other, right? I'm just an analyst that looks at what people think. Yes, obviously hammering rich people with taxes would probably, have some sort of huge economic impact. And Trump loves to shock people via Twitter, but economically he's a known quantity, right? It keeps the speculative juices in the stock market going, which could help crypto. And there's another side to the view, right? I just think people are not prepared. I mean, nobody was prepared for coronavirus. And if I had come to you and said, not only do I think Bernie is an issue for crypto, but there's also going to be an epidemic that's going to shock everybody, Ian would have just pulled the plug, right? And I would have disappeared. Right? So I mean, you have to take these things. These things are they're not theories; they're happening. So that's
right. So one thing I would like to bring up, actually, I've been reading this book. I'm about halfway through this book. It's called Win Bigly. It's a play on how Trump talks, but it's a book by Scott Adams, who's the creator of the comic series Dilbert, and he was one of the few, whether you want to call it pundits, who accurately predicted Trump winning the election. So he basically took his entire system or reasoning and put that into this book called Win Bigly. And it's really a book on persuasion. So this is not looking at things from a political perspective, but more on persuasion and convincing people to believe in something. Because at the end of the day, I strongly believe that winning presidential campaigns is really about persuasion, marketing, and sales. And he's basically looking at Trump's campaign and also all the other candidates' campaigns from a persuasion perspective. So a book I definitely highly recommend you check out. I've not finished the book, so I can't really give it an official review, but so far so good. Now, okay, so back to the question of the day. So people believe Trump is better for crypto. I mean, I think so far crypto is doing well. As Bill mentioned, I don't know how things would be if Bernie Sanders becomes president. I mean, I definitely was pro Bernie back during the last election. I definitely think the Democrats really stole the election from him, and that kind of left me jaded. I'm not really Democrat or Republican. I'm an independent. I always liked kind of being center in the middle, but it looks like Democrats are trying to steal it away from Bernie again. And I think if they do that again, it's going to be very, very... I mean, people are talking about this possibly being the end of the Democratic Party, because it seems like all of them don't want Bernie to win, but it looks like he's going to win. And the party is so divided by this. But anyway, I'll stop there. Go ahead, Bill.
No, I was just going to say that democracy voting thing is really inconvenient for some people.
Well said. All right, so I think that's it in terms of this topic.